As a working cinematographer, one of the most important things that you can invest into to elevate your look is lighting. And there's a lot of different lights out there, a lot of different brands, and there's also a lot of lighting technology that has developed over the last 10, 15 years that has really changed the game for accessibility for lighting. The really great thing about that for filmmakers like you and me is that when we don't have the budget for hundreds of thousands of dollars of lighting and grip equipment, we can get a few products that are relatively affordable to us and use them on our shoots, and they can get the job done. I think it's a really exciting time to be in the film space, and this video is going to highlight a product that falls into that very accessible, very usable, budget-friendly category in terms of lighting. If you're new to the channel, my name's Colin. I am a full-time DP working for a production company based in Ohio. We do everything from sports intro videos for professional teams to corporate videos to documentary, everything in between. You know how it goes with video production. Now, if you've seen any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I am very deeply invested into the Aputure ecosystem. The product I want to talk to you about today is actually outside of that ecosystem. Before I had any Aputure lights, any Amaran lights, the first COB light I ever bought was the GVM SD200B, I believe is what it was called. And it was a 200 watt bicolor light, and it got the job done. It was, I think, around $200, and I bought a really big softbox for it, and that was my primary workhorse for all my interviews, all my creative projects, everything. I used that thing probably for a year and a half, sold it recently to invest into Aputure. So it was kind of this cool full circle moment when GVM reached out to me and asked if I'd be willing to try out their brand new 1200 watt bicolor fixture. The official name of this light is the GVM 1200B AIO, 1200 standing for the wattage, B standing for bicolor, and AIO standing for all-in-one, which is one of the most exciting things about this light. The all-in-one in the name refers to the design, which is that it doesn't have a ballast. There's no power box that you plug in into the lamp. It is just the lamp head, which has a yoke, and that connects straight into the wall with the included power cable. It's a really cool design that we've seen on smaller fixtures like Amaran's new Ray series and Halo series and some Nanlite fixtures, but a light of this caliber usually has a lot of beefy components to it, including that big power box. So to see something like this in an all-in-one design is really intuitive and really cool from GVM. Now, before we go any further, I do want to share, GVM did send me this light for me to keep and use, but these are my raw, unfiltered thoughts. I received the light from GVM last week, and I took it on a shoot earlier this week, and now I'm sharing with you my thoughts on how it worked, how it performed, and what I think moving forward with the light. There are no further stipulations. They're seeing this video in the same way that you are, just as a viewer, with my completely honest thoughts on the light. So as I mentioned, I got to take this out on a real client shoot, not just a test in my house, but a real client shoot. And the venue was actually perfect for a lighting fixture of this caliber. We got to shoot at Hinkle Fieldhouse, which is the basketball arena on Butler University's campus in Indiana. And it's a huge arena, so we needed something of this caliber. I actually rented out a second 1200 watt fixture. This was the Aputure 1200D. And so we had both of those side by side to light up our space, which, to be honest, still wasn't enough firepower, but that's just because the arena was so humongous. It was enough to get what we needed to do, which was 6 interviews throughout the day, and then B-roll for a majority of those interviews. So pretty typical in terms of doc style shooting. So we would shoot some interviews, then take the characters and do some B-roll, and the lights were very helpful, especially for the interview portions. We used the GVM 1200B AIO as our key light, and it worked really well. I opted for that as the key light over the Aputure because I wanted to be able to control the color temp. The overhead lights in the arena that we didn't have full control over were somewhere around 4500, so the daylight would have looked a little bit goofy. We would have had some warmer color casts if we couldn't match our key to the overhead lights as opposed to outside. A lot of the windows were pretty well controlled, and so there wasn't a ton of natural light spilling in. There was more those overheads casting onto the rest of the background. So being able to have bicolor over a normal daylight fixture was really, really helpful. To be honest, I don't think I will ever buy just a straight daylight or tungsten fixture ever. With the amount of LED technology that is out now, I just think if you can go RGB, go RGB. It is so accessible now to be able to have that much control and that much wattage. Like, the technology just continues to go and go and go, and you've got so many fixtures that are just incredible for the price. The 1200B AIO does not have green magenta shift, which is a bummer, as that's something I've gotten very used to in my bicolor Aputure lights, which technically with the new Blair engine are more than bicolor, but yeah, that's something I would have wished to see, was that green magenta shift. That's, again, just an extra level of control that I'm used to having that I didn't have with the GVM. But that being said, I think the interviews looked really, really great. I don't have any footage on hand to show you of the interviews, but I do have behind the scenes. You can take a look and see. Again, from my iPhone, it looked great. From the behind the scenes, it looked great. I was really happy with the light quality that was coming out of the 1200B. We had it on a very large light dome and the quality was great. It diffused great. Didn't look like it was too harsh in the center, so I think it gave a nice even spread over the softbox. We did have it double diffuse and it still had more than enough power. I think most times we were running around 75%. So even in this big arena, I think I had 4 stops of ND on our A-cam, which was the red Komodo, and usually we were shooting at or under 800 ISO. So with all those considerations, the 1200B was more than bright enough to cover what we needed it to output wise, and it was really great. It was our key light the whole day, so it was always in a softbox. But one thing that is really interesting too that GVM has included and sent me as well is this 3x optical modifier. Now, this is essentially a Fresnel, even though it doesn't have that Fresnel title on it. But yeah, it's basically just big, thick piece of glass that you attach onto the front of the light, and it intensifies the beam. It's also got a little grid that you can put on that further focuses the beam in terms of just doesn't let it spill everywhere. When I first got the light, when it first arrived, I set it up in the living room. My wife was on the couch and I turned it on. And it was like the sun had come back up with how much light it just threw everywhere. So definitely in terms of output, the 1200B AIO is great. If you want to look up specific specs, obviously you can look on B&H or whatever to see, you know, specific lumens and output and all that kind of stuff. This video is mostly just going to be my real world experience with the light. In terms of usability, the all-in-one feature is really great, especially for smaller crews or solo operators. Most times a 1200 watt fixture kind of is at the limit or past, you know, what a solo operator is comfortable using. But I think the all-in-one function makes it a little bit easier to handle. For our Aputure 1200D, we usually had 2 people, one person moving the stand and the ballast and the other person moving the lamp head, just because those things are so big. But for a solo operator, if it's just the lamp head, one person can take the stand, one person can take the head, and you don't have any extra weight on that stand or head to move it around, which is really nice. One downfall of the all-in-one design is that if you've got the light up really high, you obviously can't reach the controls. You obviously can counter that by using the GVM app, which I personally have not tested, but my buddy Danny, who works for Fourth Floor as well, also owns some other GVM lights, and he connected to the app and connected really quickly, and he was able to control it from, you know, all the way across the arena. So it's got some really great app control, which again, it's just, you won't have that right on hand ballast control. If your phone dies or if you don't have it or the app isn't working or whatever, that's just a consideration, is that you don't have the controls on hand if the light's really high and you don't have that app control. Build quality seems pretty solid overall. The yoke comes detached from the light right out of the box, and I think that's just a portability feature so that you can move the light, which is really not that bad to move by yourself. The case is right about the same size as the 1200D case from Aputure, so sizing is about the same there. Connecting that yoke for the first time isn't too bad. It's just 2 latches that pop down, and then you attach it in, you'll hear a click, and then you latch up, and then it's attached, and then from there you've got pretty good control. I did notice a little bit of looseness when I put the light on a baby pin, but I would recommend putting this light on a junior pin just because the all-in-one design makes it a slight bit bigger than other 1200 watt heads. But again, that all-in-one design reduces all the weight from the ballast. So I would recommend just putting it in a junior pin, combo stand if you have that, and there is no looseness whatsoever on that. Overall, I think this light's pretty solid. I think it provides some good output, and I think it provides some really unique features in the all-in-one design that if you're looking for max output with max portability, this light will be great for you. It also comes in at a really great price point compared to other brands, and so if you're looking for an entry point into this high wattage of fixtures, this would be a really great light to pick up. Obviously, if you're looking for premium or maximum compatibility with professional level sets, other brands like Aputure or Nanlite might be the way to go, but this is a really solid product, and GVM, you know, is continuing to prove that they want to stay in the fight and stay, you know, going toe to toe with those bigger brands, making products like this at this high caliber. Big thanks to GVM for sending this light out. Really appreciated having it, and obviously, you know, it was the key light at our shoot, so it made it happen and helped us make our day. So very appreciative of this light being sent out to us, and looking forward to using it in the future. Another big thanks to my buddy Andile Becker, who captured all of the behind the scenes content you saw in this video. I'll be using his footage and pictures to put together a full behind the scenes video of this shoot in a couple days. So stay on the lookout for that and subscribe if you haven't already to make sure you see the full breakdown of how this day went and everything that we accomplished. Again, thanks for checking out the channel, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.